tomorrow you go to the lab and you find this magic formula to shrink to nano level yourself, what is the first thing that you would like to do?
Really go into a cell and see what's happening inside, like life, you know.
If you would be a superhero and you had a very special power, what power would you wish for?
Getting control of time.
After 4 years of intense studying, if you look back on that first day and your expectations, did they match reality?
They do. I mean, it is still lonely. Sometimes you still feel alone. So that was expectations. But the how the nanobiology program is perfect in the perfect sentence, yeah, I think it matched really all of my expectations. Everything was given to us basics at the first year, and as you go forward with courses, you find everything fall in one place. And then you find yourself really using all of the knowledge that you have to understand something. Maybe it's a very small thing, but that's what nano is about, right?
First day was a bit tiring, but it was super exciting. If given a chance, I would definitely go and live that day, because I still remember, when I close my eyes, I just still remember the first day I walked into the campus with a bag and with a thin jacket. So, because I was feeling cold that day because of the weather. But it was a beautiful day. I would just relive it once again.
If TU Delft was like a zoo, what kind of animals were applied science animals?
I think it's applied sciences might be ants. Ants are quite diverse. They have a lot of different varieties, and there's a lot of types of ants.
And they're nano size.
And they are nano size, so they are really small. There are smaller things, but ants are also very collaborative. They are multidisciplinary. They build things. They are engineers, but they are not the strongest engineers. An ant alone is not something, but ants together are kind of a community.
Most importantly, it's related to the practical aspects of applying a particular theoretical concept into real-time case study or something that you get from an industry. So I would say it's a very application-oriented course over here. And yes, when I say it's application-oriented, that means it is challenging as well.
How do you distinguish the typical applied science student?
I wouldn't say that they look similar in any way.
But is there a language? Is there a common...
If I shouted DNA, I think they are the people that will look at me. Or if I shouted enzymes, they would be like, okay, who is talking here? Or quantum, or something weird, something very scientific. I think they would be the one that look at me and say, okay, this is a weird dude, but I understand what they are saying.
What is your mission that you discovered in the last 3-4 years?
At the beginning, I had very high expectations. I thought I can solve the world, you know, I can fix it all. I think my main vision was to just try to make everyone feel as safe and as included as possible. So I just started really talking to everyone, making a lot of lunch lectures, bringing up people just for the food. You know, people love free things and free food, especially. This just lightens a spark, and this spark just really make a fire, and a fire really goes larger, grows larger and larger.
One thing that I learned, this I knew before as well, but it's strengthened after coming here, is like, if you have set higher ambitions for yourself, you will eventually reach there. If you have targeted yourself 100, you will reach 95. But if you have said to yourself that I just want a 60, you will not even reach 40.
I personally think that I want to open my own nanomedicine company to just have you know, the new future of medicine focused on really increasing the healthcare, especially in my own country as well, in Egypt, but also to help those really make healthcare free. I remember that my first year I failed genetics, was my first actually hit, because I never failed a subject before.
I don't fear failure. I fear not giving it another try. So I will definitely give it another try, and this eventually relieves me of all the stress also.
Where do you go to in terms of resilience to overcome?
I personally first think about God. I would like to think about myself as religious, so I just ask God for help. And then the second thought is my mother. I just sometimes call her. I remember that every year I have this dark moment where I call her and I start crying. To hear their voice, the voice of my sisters, just to remember that there are people that are waiting for me. And even if the worst case scenario, if I couldn't do that, I will still be able to go back home and have people who are waiting for me, even if I failed or something. For them, this is not failing. I at least tried.
But I guess if you think about challenge as a stepping stone, like you have to first cross this stone and then cross this stone in a step-by-step manner, I believe that challenge can be easily tackled, and ultimately what you will end up with is a good result. And one more thing I learned from Theodulf is like never focus solely on the result, but focus more on the process, because sometimes the process is more exciting than the final result.